stand, please, for the invocation and the pledge. But we're going to ask Commissioner Owens to lead us in the invocation.
Let's pray. Dear Heavenly Father, we are blessed to be in your presence today, Lord. Thank you for our citizens, Lord, who showed up today to participate in democracy. Lord, we just pray for your guidance and direction in all our decisions. And we ask these things in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
At this time, I would like to call the regular meeting of the Gates County Board of Commissioners to order for October 3rd, 2008. First of all, I'd like to welcome all of you here. It's nice to see so many of our citizens here this morning. And I have a young person as well for a civics lesson, I hope. I've done the runs. First item of business is the approval of the minutes for our regular meeting on September 5th, 2018, and our meeting on September 17th, 2018.
So moved.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded to approve the minutes as presented. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed. For next item is the agenda. I have several things to add to the agenda. Budget amendments, we have a few more. We're going to go from 14 through 18 on budget amendments, which is number 9 under Roman numeral 8. Then we have number 10, a Board of Adjustments fee waiver request. Number 11, National Long-Term Care Residents' Rights Month proclamation. And number 12, the bond for our finance officer. Do I have a motion to approve the agenda as modified?
So moved.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded in discussion. Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? The agenda is approved as amended. Okay, we're already down to Roman number 4, delegations. Do we have any announced delegations? Yes, we do.
Is not here.
Oh, he's not here. We'll wait, we'll go on, but, okay, any unannounced delegation?
No, ma'am.
Okay. We're already down to administrative reports.
This is the report for August the 18th through September the 19th. Work is progressing on the wastewater project. EDA has yet to reimburse the county for work accomplished to date. I have since contacted Butterfield and Tillis's office, and Senator Tillis has someone who is trying to find out some information since they are in Washington, D.C. this week. We've also submitted another reimbursement for the county. We are happy to welcome Kim Allen as the finance officer, and she began work on September the 11th.
Stand up, Kim.
So later in the meeting, when it comes to budget amendments, I will do the budget amendments at this meeting, and she will begin in the future. Emergency Management Coordinated Hurricane Florence measures. The shelter was open at the high school on Thursday, September 13th at 12 noon and closed on Friday, September 14th at 10 a.m. Residents of Terrell House were evacuated to Gates House, so the county's state of emergency was not lifted until the 16th when they returned to Terrell House. State required the assistance of Billy Wynn and Herman Weiss in Kinston. As of the writing on September 20th, both were still deployed. However, since then, they returned home, been deployed, and returned back home. On August the 28th through the 31st, I attended the School of Government's Introduction to Local Government Finance class. And September the 11th, Chair Hoffman and I attended a meeting hosted by the Oversea Foundation at the Mill Pond. The purpose was to learn about the Oversea Foundation and for the foundation to learn more about Gates County. The ultimate goal of the meeting is for the foundation to develop a grant which will focus on the needs of Gates County. I would like to provide an additional update from some information that I received last week regarding the historic courthouse. The floor joist on the first floor will need to be repaired. James Andrews is working up some costs for that. He is not sure if the entire first floor, which includes the lobby and the 2 offices and the east wing, will need to be replaced. There are only certain joists. So far, we are under budget, so we are, I hate to use the word hoping, but we are hoping that the repairs will fall within the amount we've saved to date. And I've also talked to Ms. Walker with the Historical Society about the flooring in the first floor of the east wing, depending on the process that is needed to fix the floor joist. And the middle school was torn down over, the 8th grade wing was torn down over the weekend, and cleanup is continuing this week.
Okay, any questions with County Manager?
Madam Chairman, I think I would, not really a question, but maybe a confirmation. In regard to being under budget, I believe there was a lot of money saved on demolition and
Correct.
debris removal.
Correct.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Okay, well, thank you for your report. Next, we move on to tax. I saw Ms. Lane come in.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
And I've sent you to review the collector's report for September. Happy to report that those funds are continuing to roll in, have a lot of prepayments, in addition to those folks coming by. More than $500,000 for the month collected for the month of September. Yeah, so we're pleased with that. Any additional specific questions as we look at that collector's report?
And the due date is January 5th.
Actually, in this case, January 7th, because it falls on the weekend. They'll become delinquent, of course, after that. Yes, sir. So we did incorporate that on our tax notice to remind everybody. They got a little bit of window that Monday, January 7th, to pay without delinquency. Yes, sir.
We had a lot of response before that date.
We did, yeah, yes, indeed. That's right. Yeah.
And go ahead.
I know you probably don't have this in front of you, but that is a big number
Mhm.
for this period of time. Is it $100,000 higher or?
Well, a lot of that, the public service companies, with portion of payment, we bill those out, and we did incorporate that, with the billing. So we talk about Dominion and Roanoke Electric and those bigger public service, I think Ward got one massive check in, it was well over $180,000 for one day. So that in and of itself, those files from the lenders will be coming in next month. CoreLogic, Loretta, the big tax service, when we get a massive check with everybody, with the escrowing accounts, that'll be a big one as well, Commissioner.
Good.
So,
Okay, and I see with Zacchaeus, we are still receiving a fair amount each month from the delinquent accounts.
That is true. I did follow up with the email from last week. We did have one property to redeem, and that foreclosure sign was pulled, and the sale was removed from the auction. We had 2 auctions yesterday at noon at the courthouse. The taxpayer, I believe, some relation of the taxpayer, if you will, came in and settled that account in full. So that was paid. So Zacchaeus moving ahead. I will say they were here yesterday for the auction, that we did successfully sell the Stewart property on 158 with the acreage, the 1.10 acres with the old abandoned house. That is due, however, for upset bid. We have gotten some calls about people wanting to upset that, and there's a process, and they go to the clerk's office naturally. Have to be 5% or higher than the existing bid. The Bartlett property, Drum Hill, that did not sell immediately. However, as of late yesterday afternoon and this morning, we've gotten calls from people who are interested, so they will file that paperwork next door, hopefully. That highest bidder was the county yesterday for the Bartlett property, but with those calls, we're hoping that property will move and proceed with that.
So we get them off the books.
Absolutely, yes, ma'am. And all delinquent delinquency, the 18s will be due, and any additional interest and fees, of course, in addition to what was the minimum bid for yesterday, so, yes.
Any additional questions? Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you. I do want to just mention Betty Morris, you saw in my report, after 17 years, if you're by the halls of the tax office, stop by, give her warm wishes. 17 years of wonderful service. Going to be hard to replace. That search has already begun. The county manager trying to fill her application. So warm wishes to Betty on her retirement. Thank you to the board.
Yeah.
When's the last day?
October 26th on a Friday. Yes, sir. So thank you.
She is, I've seen people when they're standing in line and paying the taxes, a lot of people are not happy about paying taxes. And
That is
she's
true.
always a calming influence.
She
Her
is.
discipline, she keeps it level.
She does. Yeah, she does. We surely miss, but thank you. Thank you.
Okay. Okay, any reports, additional reports? Okay, moving on to I believe at this time we will go into a public hearing for the GETS Community Transportation Grant. See, Patrice is here. At this time, we will open up the public hearing.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Please forgive me, I forgot my glasses. Okay.
I'm with you a lot.
Okay, for the community transportation grant, this year we're doing it in one public hearing, and it encompasses the administrative, the capital, and the elderly 5310 grant application, which is for operations. The elderly grant, I'll start backwards, I guess, is for $80,000. It's a 50/50 match. We use $40,000 to match. We use our road funds, which is the funds you approved last month, to match that, to get the additional $40,000. It's just for operating to transport people who are over the age of 65 or have a disability that has been declared, and it's for an enhanced type of service. We can do a little bit more with them. We can change the time a little bit, and we can go to the door, help them to the door, when the other program is just drop off at the driveway, pretty much type service. For the other community transportation grant, for admin, that's the funds that we use to pay our rent, to pay the administrative personnel salaries, and anything dealing with administration. For capital, on this grant, we're asking to replace 2 vehicles that will have met their life expectancy. So, let's see, for that. Those are the 3 grants that I'm asking for you to approve. It's the same grant every year. For capital, this year, we're asking for $137,200, of which the local part would be the $13,720. And we're asking for the administrative portion of $122,088, for which local funds would be $18,313. We, of course, as you know, we use our matching funds out of the funds that we generate. It states up here that we use reserve, and that's just because the monies that we use that we make the next year, we have to state that we know that they're available at the start of the grant, but we generally cover it in that year's budget.
Okay. And this is very similar to what the grants that we received last year.
The same.
Okay. Any,
And our revenue collected usually is enough to take care of those costs.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
and you were buying, I think I read, trying to replace 2 vehicles.
2 vehicles.
Madam Chairman, looking at the
Transit Advisory Board. I got the list here in front of me, and I see HS Agency Passenger, HS,
Human service.
Human Services.
Okay. Any public comment? Certainly, it is a wonderful program for our citizens, who so many do not have transportation for doctor's appointments and for all vital services that they have to go to. And it's very fortunate that we have these funds that can take those where they need to go.
One other question, I just state for the audience, sort of question, and you can help me with it. I see that vehicle out early in the morning. How early, what's your earliest?
We start picking up at 5 o'clock and we close at 7 o'clock.
Okay.
From 5 a.m. to 7 p.m.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, before we go any farther, I don't believe we've had a motion to go into public hearing. I'll pay my penance afterwards. Do I have a motion to go into public hearing?
So moved. Second.
All those in favor? Aye. We're not going to make you redo your whole spiel. I think we understood what she said, but that is in the public hearing part. Okay, does anybody else have any comments?
I do, Madam Chairman. I'd like to commend Patrice on our board meetings. She conducts those board meetings, and we leave there understanding exactly what she's presented in front of us, particularly with, and her movement into the grant program. So thank you, Patrice.
Thank you.
Any citizen comments? Hearing none, no additional comments or questions? Do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion that the public hearing be closed.
Okay, a motion's been made to close the public hearing. Do I have
Second.
a second? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Okay, at this time, we will vote on the approval of these, applying for these grants. Do I have a motion?
Madam Chairman, I'll make a motion to, that the county apply for the grants for the gift services as requested.
And I'll second the motion, Madam Chairman.
Okay, a motion has been made and seconded that we approve the GITS grant for the coming year. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed?
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, we have an all-public hearing today for the voluntary ag district and enhanced volunteer agriculture district ordinance. Do I have a motion to go into public hearing?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second motion.
Motion's been made and properly second.
Madam Chairman, I'm sorry.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Okay.
Madam Chairman, I'd like to make a motion that we table this item today and table it to December 3rd, 10 a.m.
I'll second the motion, Madam Chairman.
Okay, a motion's been made and seconded to table that until our meeting on December the 3rd at 10 o'clock. Is there any discussion? I'll just tell everyone, it's because the manager of that office has had a health issue. Can't say that. Okay, so we'll table it to December 3rd. Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Hearing none, so we'll take them. Okay, do I have a motion to come out of closed session?
So moved.
Motion's been made and seconded. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed? Okay, now we'll do old business.
That was coming out of public.
It's coming to public hearing, yes, sir.
Okay, oh yeah, I'm sorry. Old business, there's none. Okay, this next one is Sunbury School update.
I have been requested to bring back some information regarding Sunbury School property, and the teacherage, the gymnasium, the women's college, and the school were sold to the Historic Preservation Foundation of North Carolina from the county on December 1st, 2011. The Historic Preservation Foundation then sold the school to Sunbury Fields on December 1st, 2011. There were several documents which included all of the deeds, and then I believe some of the deeds may have been sent to you again yesterday. The document 6 that was in your packet was the letter from the then Chair Twine explaining incentive packages. Document 7 was the resolution approving the sale of Sunbury School properties to the Historic Foundation. And document 8 is the condemnation ordinance. Nowhere in anything that I have found does it state that the school comes back to the county. Because the county sold the property to the Historic Preservation Foundation.
Madam Chairman, I have called our attorney and asked him to provide information on the 10-year stipulation. He sent me some documentation, but I did not see in there where the 10-year stipulation said that the property returned back to the county. It was not upgraded in accordance with the term of sale. I do believe we need to have our county attorney make us aware if that is a stipulation. And if so, we need to contact the owners of the property and just ask them to give us an update on where we stand with the improvements for the senior center as a property was sold to be converted into maintain its historical significance. So I believe that Attorney Godwin should kind of clarify us on this tenure. Is it there?
No, sir, as based upon a discussion we had, it belongs to the Historical Preservation Foundation has first right of refusal. If that property goes up to sale, it has nothing to do with the county. The county does not have any rights after 10 years. Where the 10 years comes in, based upon what we could find, is with the condemnation ordinance, which reads, let me get to that.
That's at the very back of the.
Let me get to that document. It says within private sites listed on the National Register of Historic Places and or the North Carolina Historic Preservation Office shall be exempt from this ordinance for a period of 10 years from the date of sale. Within 10 years from any date of purchase, the new owner must have plans in place that maintain, restore, or alter the designated landmark to prevent it from being a danger to the health, safety, and welfare of Gates County citizens. The Gates County Board of Commissioners reserve the right to revoke and or disallow any waivers to this exemption if the requirements are not complied with or if deception is detected in the judgment of the Gates County Board of Commissioners to avoid compliance. And it states in the document, each of the documents actually from where the Historic Preservation Foundation sold the documents to Sunbury Field, it states that they have first right of refusal. Nowhere does it say anything about the county has any right to that property.
Well, the agreement was with the Historic Foundation, but it was supposed to revert back to the county.
That's not what it states in any of the documents that I could decipher, and based on the discussion yesterday that we could find. But I can ask him again.
I think we need clarification on
That, Commissioner, I'm not sure if we were recording, video recording our meetings at that time, but it was real close when we were doing that. But even so, I don't know that a lot of that conversation would have occurred in an open meeting necessarily. So I don't know if you,
Well, I went on board in November 2011.
that might be something that we might want to look back and see when we started recording the meetings, if that would help. I don't recall the exact verbiage of that, so depending on the documentation. But that would be a place to look, but Natalie, after you got the documentation, you talked with our attorney.
Well, when Penn, and there's a note on the cover of the one that he sent to Mr. Jordan that says, you know, if there was any other discussion, that is not recorded in any deed or document.
Which is Bible in regard to what's recorded.
I know that, it was a topic right when I was coming in. I know, you know, we gave them, the incentive was they got a break on their taxes for the first 5 years, and then their tax bill is what it should be. And the tax credits that they got were, the incentive package, that ended in 2016. And see, they have till 2021 for the end of the 10-year period.
Well, I guess the bottom line question for our attorney is, if Sunbury School has not been turned into a senior living apartment by 2021, what recourse does the county have? Whether it's through the Historical Society or his law.
But
If it's not turned into a senior living facility by 2011, what recourse is there?
Madam Chairman?
yes,
I'd like to, just for the record, and I think Commissioner Jordan will remember this, the rationale for us selling the property to the Preservation Foundation was to not burden, to try and save the school through a buyer that the foundation, Preservation Foundation, would locate on their own without our assistance. Someone that would come in, save the school, put it back into to be properly maintained, put it back in good condition, and bring some revenue back to the county to keep from burdening our tax base with us spending that money, and then thirdly, to relieve us of any asbestos liability. So that was the rationale, those three factors. Commissioner, do you remember it that way? Those were the three factors that made sense for us to do that. I would say, and this is just opinion, but the Preservation Foundation, their goal is to save every historical property. So that I would say that we would be in good footing with them, even if we don't have a contract, that if for some reason the county wanted to have some input, Commissioner Jordan, I think we would have good footing and good standing. The nature of just, the property sits in our county, and so if we came up with anything, but it's a massive check has to be written to save that property.
I found an email from June of 2015 from Claudia DeVinny, who was then the Northeast Regional Office Director. She has since retired, but she said the 4 buildings were sold by Preservation North Carolina to Sunbury Fields, and the Preservation North Carolina forever bound Sunbury Fields and the properties because of protective covenants. They also have rehabilitation agreements on all 4 buildings on site. So of course they're concerned. So they're the ones that have the protective covenants and the rehabilitation agreements with the Patches, not the county.
So basically that they have the leverage, is what you're saying.
So we need to find out what their letter says.
What, whose letter says?
Preservation.
A lot of that is in some of the deeds that you've been provided.
and I think it was sold to North Carolina Preservation. I don't know that the senior center was mentioned, it's just, it was sold to them, and, you know, they were looking for a buyer to preserve it as, historically, but make it viable. We thought maybe a senior living would be viable, but numerous things could have been. And I don't think that will be mentioned. I mean, it's whatever.
The problem we have, our citizens in the county, especially Sunbury, they're concerned about what's going to happen to that school. It should have been upgraded by now. It looks like nothing's being done. And we don't want to keep going forward intent was upgrade it, maintain its historical significance, and bring some economic development to the county. And right now, I can't say that that's being done in a manner that we would like it.
And I agree with everything you say, or you just stated. But like I say, it is, that 10-year period, and this is only 7 years.
7 years. But we can't wait till 9 years and then say, we want to hold it to it.
Well, we're actually,
We're not the-
we're out of the loop.
We're out of the
We don't have-
loop.
We don't have any leverage or any ownership.
Because it's owned by North Carolina Preservation.
Well, we
I mean, we're not North Carolina Preservation, Sunbury Fields, but they have the covenants on it.
Right.
maybe we need to talk to them. Preservation.
Yes, and of course, they closed the Eaton office, so we would have to contact the first people in Raleigh.
Yes.
But the covenants are filed in the register of deeds office, so whoever would purchase it would have to go by this covenants.
I don't think we need to let it lie. I think we just need to go back to our attorney and help him to point us in the right direction to get some guidance on how to follow through with contacting the owners to see where they are and providing upgrades and maintenance of that city. That's specified.
But being out of, we wanted to be out of the ownership, and we are out of the ownership, so we don't have any leverage. But to hear Commissioner Jordan's comments about citizens of Sunbury affects them most directly. And it would make sense not to wait until straight midnight to have a little bit of dialogue with preservation. I'd like to ask the county manager to speak with North Carolina Preservation Foundation and ask them, when they see a property not being rehabilitated over a 10-year period and it gets to this time frame, have they ever, just to ask them, have they ever approached the owner and alerted them to the time frame, and have they ever agreed to receive property back ahead of the contract?
Based on a conversation with Claudia Davini, yes, they have talked to properties in the past, tried to encourage them to allow them to post the property again. She said sometimes it's successful, sometimes it's not been successful. So as far as, what their timeframes are with the covenants, I don't know how long they wait to do that.
And I know Claudia personally, she had hoped that they would let them resell it.
Do we know that they've officially been approached?
I think there has been discussions.
Madam Chairman, I'd like to just try to understand some of it as I've read through this too. Exhibit A, in the covenants, number 6 particularly, would that supersede us as county ordinances or because of those covenants? Number 6, if you look at Exhibit A.
Document 6,
Exhibit A, unprotected covenants for the Sunbury High School.
You have a page number?
And then if you look.
296, I think.
In the rest of these
No,
officers, but number 6
Community
says
teachers
neither, number 6 says neither the Sunbury High School nor any part thereof may be removed or demolished without the prior written approval of the president or chairman of the board of directors of the foundation.
That's the same number 6 in each document. So if you happen to look at another one for Exhibit A, it's because another one says the gym, the other one says the teacherage.
Commissioner Freeman, you were reading from which part on that page?
Number 6.
Gotcha. Okay.
My understanding, because I was not part of county government at the time, was that was the reason the ordinance was written the way it was, so that then, once that took place, you know, if something did need to be condemned or something could, then they would talk to them and a decision to be made about what could be done. Because based on recollection, there is a portion of the gym, not the gym, excuse me, the school that can be torn down,
The last edition.
Right on the back.
and it has not, but it can be torn down.
Little bunch of them.
Or, I don't know what it was, but it's one in the very back.
And much of that was to maintain its historical significance.
And that was probably a 1970 edition. Maybe, it might have been earlier than that. No, it was earlier than that, because I ate there in the lunchroom.
Say that again.
Well, can I go to that date anymore? But it was a later edition than the original school.
County manager, do you know any building permits have been requested on this property
There has not been any.
during the whole ownership?
There's, so this is where it lives. From what I can remember, no, there's been discussion about power, but no, there's not been any true building permits pulled.
There has been some modification done to the
Gym,
gym.
but not for the school.
I mean, putting in walls, because there's several businesses there. There's a bar right there, barber shop,
Yes, ma'am.
Sunbury Boutique.
Yes, ma'am.
So I think there may have been something else.
Somebody did, had a kind of vegetable market out there some this summer.
Mashpee. Yes, ma'am. It's a flea market type thing. We've had vegetable stands out there and people actually on the property selling like yard sale, flea market type things. Also, we have a U-Haul dealer inside of that building as well. That Terry Moore basically runs the whole show out there.
Okay. There's been some things done at the gym. Okay. I think we could ask county manager to maybe contact North Carolina Preservation, just see what they know about what the events are occurring.
I would like them to know, I know they know we're interested, maybe just an email or a phone call might stir some conversation. Thank you, so.
Okay. And now, number 8, Historical Society contribution to the historical courthouse.
Ms. Walker has contacted me, and the Historical Society would like to make a donation to the historic courthouse. However, I cannot accept that money according to what is written in our ordinance. So you have to accept a donation on behalf of the county. The amount would be $20,000, and it would be used specifically for restoration of the historic courthouse.
So we need a motion to,
Accept the $20,000. Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. I would make that motion, Madam Chairman, that we accept the donation presented by the county manager as in unison with commissioners.
do I have a second?
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded that we direct our county manager to accept a donation of $20,000 from the Gates County Historical Society to use in the work being done in the historic courthouse. Any questions?
Now, all this donation would be something that's been passed out.
I'll have to check into that. When I talked with Ms. Lacy the other week, she had said we could deal with that based on what I've seen. I believe it can be. We just have to get the letter.
Yes, ma'am. Excuse me.
It's
Would that be a separate line item? to-
Yes, sir, and that's a budget amendment that you have later before you.
But because it is a nonprofit organization,
They can still receive a letter, but that's what we had discussed.
it's not coming from individuals.
Right, this is from the Historical Society.
Okay, a motion has been made and seconded. My only comment is, would be thank you, and hopefully, maybe I'll spur some old people to make donations. And all those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed?
Since you've made that comment, the only way that we can accept donations for this project is if you come back, if I come back before you, unless you delegate the authority to the county manager to accept donations up to a certain amount or for any amount for the historical society, historical courthouse.
I don't think any amount.
I'm not actually, you take action, but that was just, that she brought that up.
Yeah, I was just,
If there's any amount, someone wants to give me a $20 donation on the street or walks into my office, I cannot accept it. They have to come, I have to come to you at the next meeting to ask. So,
Well, Madam Chairman, as far as just a matter of dialogue, I would certainly be in favor of that, and it could draw someone, all of our donations won't be $20,000. Not only that, so you would receive that into the county, and it would become part of our revenue.
correct,
You would like them to see.
correct. We have to receive every bit of money regardless of what it's for.
I believe I could be in favor of that if there was a motion.
also, we do have some people outside the county that have expressed some interest in the courthouse, whether they'll come through or not.
Would it be,
Something, this is a nice donation,
are we going to make this public in the newspaper, commissioners, county manager? And if we did such a thing, maybe a check being handed over with photograph or something?
I don't know, finance officer feel about that, or would they have any comments to make as pertaining to how we should handle that, or how it comes into the county?
But it comes into the county the same as any other money. It's a
It'll be
check,
just
and
a
it's just,
line item.
right, and it's just deposited into the account that's earmarked for the donations.
What I was alluding to is if we were going to advertise that gracious donation in the paper, we could also put something under there saying that the county has established a method for other people to make donations, large or small.
I think that'd be a good thing to do.
Madam Chairman, I'll make a motion that we,
Authorize.
thank you. Looking for that one. I'll make a motion that we authorize our county manager to have the ability to receive donations made toward Natalie, specifically the historical project, to be, give her the authority to receive donations by cash or check to be receipted to that individual for the rehabilitation or use on the historic courthouse.
I second the motion, Madam Chairman.
Okay, a motion's been made and properly seconded to authorize the county manager to have the ability to accept donations for the historic courthouse. Any discussion?
Could that also be included in the manager's report that we want to the board?
If there's any receipt, yes.
I think it ought to be updated a little bit. The county manager or designated representative. There may be times when she's not able to do it. And she can designate someone,
What, the county manager and finance officer?
or a designated representative.
Okay, she could designate someone to come up.
Gives her some leeway.
Okay, would
Madam
you,
Chairman, I'll amend my motion to incorporate both of those statements.
And I second that.
or that you will agree to that? Okay, so we changed to authorize the county manager or her designate designee to accept donations for the work being done on the historic courthouse,
Along with a report.
along with a report
When
to the Board of Commissioners on a regular basis. Okay. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed? Okay. We have budget amendments there at the very back of your book.
And number 14 is, and if you'd like, we can do these all together. That's
Yeah,
up
all
to you.
of, I think, all
Number
of,
14 is to budget for the loan from Sterling National Bank for the middle school project, and it's for the $8.2 million, because we do have a separate fund set up for this project. Number 15 is to reimburse the sales tax that we received as the Article 44 that had been spent to date for Central Middle School project. As you may recall, we passed a resolution about a year ago that said up to $1 million could be reimbursed to the county, the money that was spent on the project before the LGC approved it, and that is what Budget Amendment 15 is for. Number 16 is to establish the line items and to do a budget amendment for the $20,000 for the historic courthouse donation that you just agreed to accept. Number 17 is to allocate general fund balance to Soil and Water to pay for office assistance in the amount of $5,000. And number 18 is one that you have on your desk. And if you'd like, we can, I will explain that one as a separate one. So if you'd like to go back to, I figure you have questions about 17 and 18. So we can stop right there.
okay, let's go ahead and work on,
And if you'd like, excuse me, if you'd like, you can do 14, 15, and 16 unless there's questions, all of one.
okay, because they're pretty straightforward. 14 with the setting up the school, for the school project at Central, sales tax reimbursement, and historical courthouse donation. Do I have a motion that we approve amendments 14, 15, and 16?
So moved, Madam Chairman.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Second. Any discussion on either of those? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye. All opposed. So all three of those are, now we go to the, numbers.
17 was to allocate fund balance to Soil and Water to pay for some office assistance as needed for the next few months.
Do I have a motion there?
So moved.
I'll second that motion, Madam Chairman.
Motion been made, properly seconded, any further discussion?
Was this brought up by the director over there to your attention?
No, it was not. I was the one who approached them with it. They can only have people who have been vetted by federal government actually work in their office. We were going to try to help cover as needed, and the thought, they did not have anything worked out, but the thought was if they could get a reciprocal agreement with another county that could send someone over here one day a week to work in their office to help answer a phone call, help with filing, help with office items, then we would reimburse the county. That's what happened when Hertford County did not have a soil and water technician, and Matt Lowe went to Hertford County. They reimbursed us for the amount of hours that Matt spent over there each month.
The soil and water is very strict about who can work in there, because it's federal, their computers and everything else.
But I wanted to go ahead and put this out. We do not know if this will even be needed, but I did not want them to get to the situation where they had to have someone, I'm just going to throw in the county, you know, from Chowan County to come over here and to help with something, and Chowan County will be reimbursed, but we did not have the money to do it.
And this is because of medical emergency.
This is because of the situation that's currently in their office.
Okay, I think it's, yeah, we need to be prepared to give council assistance like this, we will need that. Okay, any additional questions or comments? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed? Okay, that one is approved.
Okay, there is one on your table, number 18, and I will give you a chance to review that along with the justification that's stapled to the back. Okay, budget amendment 18 is a request for elections to move money from the general fund balance to pay for a temporary full-time worker to cover the elections October the 11th through November the 30th, and then the person would return to part-time status.
Okay, so most of this time is after the election is held.
This is for open, that's insurance. It is for early voting, the election, and then the canvassing that takes place, the documentation that has to be turned in following the election.
Yeah, the counts and checking the
Madam
votes.
Chairman, I'll make a motion that we approve the administration request.
And I'll second the motion, Madam Chairman.
Motion's been made and seconded to approve this from the Board of Elections to temporary person for full-time during the election process. Any additional questions? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed? Okay. So we have finished up with the budget amendments. Okay, the next is the Board of Adjustments. Board of Adjustments, average cost per meeting, we see here, County Manager.
I was actually looking to see if Lisa Cherry was in here. I think she had a question or a statement she wanted to make as well, so I'm sending her an email. If you could please go to number 11, because she wanted to hear what the request was for.
Okay, number 11, we have a National Long-Term Care Residents' Rights Month 2018 proclamation to the Society Fund. Commissioner Commissioner Owens, you have that in front of you, if you will read that.
National Long-Term Care Residents' Rights Month 2018 proclamation. Speak up, know your rights and how to use them. Whereas there are more than 1.6 million individuals living in 16,000 nursing homes and 1 million individuals living in 50,000 board and care-assisted living facilities in the U.S. And whereas the Federal Nursing Home Reform Act of 1987 guarantees residents their individual rights in order to promote and maintain their dignity and autonomy. And whereas all residents should be aware of their rights so they may be empowered to live with dignity and self-determination. And whereas we wish to honor and celebrate these citizens, to recognize their rich individuality, and to reaffirm their right to vote and participate politically, including the right to have a say in their care. And whereas individuals and groups across the country will be celebrating Residents' Rights Month with the theme, Speak Up, Know Your Rights and How to Use Them, to emphasize the importance of residents being informed about their rights, being engaged partners in achieving quality care and quality of life, and feeling confident in speaking up about what is important to them.
Now therefore, I, Linda Hopper, Chairman of Gates County Board of Commissioners, do hereby proclaim October 2018 as National Long-Term Care Residents' Rights Month in the County of Gates, and encourage all citizens to join me in these important observations. We signed this third day of October 2018.
Okay, what is the pleasure of the board?
Madam Chairman, I make a motion that we approve recognition of our national long-term care, our residents' rights month of October 2008.
Okay, a motion's been made. Do I hear a second?
I'll second that motion, Madam Chairman.
Motion's been made and seconded. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed. Okay, we'll move on to the bond for the finance officer. Okay, you want to go back? Well, let's do the board of the adjustments, average cost per meeting.
Well, no, Mr. Jordan's made the request, she wanted to hear it, and then she can explain that as well.
Madam Chairman, it was brought to my attention that two citizens in the county wanted to start a group home attack facility for the residents of Gates County. And I'm not sure if we are all familiar with the group home atmosphere, but this type of home care, it does not require certificate of need. There has to be some type of license. But the group home is they allow 6 residents per home. They have a home care specialist 24 hours a day. It provides services for citizens that need that type. They may not need nursing home type care nor assisted living. Some of the type residents could be someone who had mental needs, veterans, someone who just needs home assistance, but not necessarily medical care. And from my understanding, we have a number of residents that are located in Pasquotank County at these group home types facilities. And the entrepreneurs that came to me, I think it's a good idea for the county, and they want to pursue with it, and they want to put in an application to have the Board of Adjustment to give them a special use permit for 2 homes on Aiken Hill Road. And I'm requesting that for the good of the county and bringing in extra employment and services for our citizens, to waive the fee for the special use permit for this, I believe it's Sutton Home Care. That's the name of the
Sutton.
Sutton Home Care, the group home facility.
And you said one was going to be, they want on Aiken Hill, where was the other one?
Both of them on Aiken Hill Road. There are 2 homes beside each other. I think it's 1139. Don't quote me on that, but somewhere in there. Yes.
I do know we do have a group home in your community, do we not, Commissioner Belton? And, okay.
I just asked Commissioner Jordan, so these are existing homes that, it's not somebody coming in to build a home, so there's 2 homes that are already there.
They're converting right. But first they have to get a special use permit in order to be able to move forward. And I'm asking the board to waive that fee for the good of the county, and also to assist them in being able to go forward.
There are two houses. Does that change this?
You would think, that's Lisa.
Ms. Cherry? Ms. Cherry, I'll direct my same
Good
question
morning.
to you.
Yes.
We're just finding out that there are two houses,
Yes.
are they side by side, Commissioner?
Big as how,
Okay, if they are side by side, would that cause us to have two of these?
Yes,
Cost would be up
it would be
It's two
two.
different parcels.
Yes,
per parcel.
exactly. And that's the cost today, and after working this up, it is a little surprising, and absorbing this cost of advertising and these fees paid outside of the county, a little hard to absorb it, so we just ask that you know and are aware of the fees, based on, trying to keep a budget in line, that's all.
Have you, since you've been made aware of this, have you had the opportunity to go to where you think the properties are, I believe?
Yes, our department has gone out there and just looked overall, not in, it needs to be looked at a lot more. And there's, I understand, some other things that need to be done, possibly with the state. Of course, that's not my department, but it would be the permits. But they came and talked to us. They were very nice. And I think I spoke with Mr. Green, they're a very, very nice couple. They really, I just don't know the particulars of what it could include, a lot of rehab, updates, and that would be probably per the state. And we don't have that.
And did I understand also, excuse me if I interrupt, that Commissioner George said we do not need a CON in that particular
certificate,
case?
yes.
Right.
I'm not aware of the particulars of that as well. That would be probably something up to the other inspectors that come from the state as well that would require that.
What agency of the state oversees group homes?
Well, for the inspections, it would be, I know the Department of Insurance was called and the group home care, because we had them phone calls. Is that exactly what it
Yes,
was?
ma'am. It's fire department with the inspection annual, and then building would work with state on inspection for the two buildings.
Commissioner Jordan said he believed that it was Sutton, do you recall?
And when they came in, they were very not, Sutton was not their name. Yes, that was it. Sessoms. Yes,
The name of the business
would be Sutton.
was Sutton, or
They didn't say.
I thought it was Sutton or Sesame.
I saw
Home care.
in the email, I saw Sesson.
Yes.
S-S-O-N.
Maybe
Yes, yeah, and there, I know they do some business in the county. I think he might have been a preacher, and that was his wife, and they were gonna help each other in that.
Then these are already homes that are built.
Yeah.
I am familiar with group homes. I know about the one in Clemens County, but they were built specifically for it because you had to have the doorways and a variety of things for the clientele. But these are pre-existing structures, so I would think there's going to have to be a lot of modification stuff.
And we haven't gone inside. I know they have to bring the state forms, so we'll know what to look for as far as the inspections department. They are looking at that, and we'll go in once they submit the state forms that are required.
And the request today is just for a fee waiver.
Right. Does anybody know, you or Mr. Jordan, how far along they are in their decision? I mean, they're definitely coming, or?
It depends on what they find out they have to do. Of course, the Board of Adjustment, they have to go through that. And then they said they need to know what improvements would need to be made, is what they indicated when they met with us.
Well, certainly, $731 would be a drop in the bucket to them if they're coming in to establish two businesses.
Okay.
So, and I'm not
We
asking
don't,
for your
right,
opinion,
right,
that's
yes, we don't know.
That's not the amount that they would pay. It's $500
Right,
Right, yeah.
per.
special use
$1,000.
permit, so there'd be two, so it'd be $1,000.
What they're trying to do is they're trying to proceed with this without having to pay fees that they're not sure how the outcome is going to be. Will we issue a special use permit? Very good chance. But there's also a possibility that it may not. benefit to the county. It's a service that the county can use. I know people who have gone to Windsor, North Carolina, to live in group home settings. And, you know, when you got these private facilities, it's a benefit. It's not something that someone is out just to make money. It also brings employment. So I think when we can work with these type entities, I think it's a plus for the county.
Madam Chairman, I don't know that we'll make a decision today, but the pluses, just on the surface, is that it will benefit citizens of our county.
Well, no, but it doesn't mean citizens of this county.
Sure.
It could be anybody.
Right, yeah. Well, I'm going to state pluses.
I mean, it's.
Sure, they could be from New York and move here. They could be from Windsor and move back here. So, you know, these houses will be updated. It will increase the tax base on. It would, people from Gates County most likely be working there because people wouldn't be driving from New York to come here to work every day. So, so there, very likely there would be some local employment, so that would be a plus. I don't know if there's been any precedents. I'll lean to the records for that. I don't think we've done anything to set the precedent.
I know that there was a group home in York that was built, I mean, that was built from ground up.
Many years ago, that was probably
25 years ago.
And I would think that
Only have 6 million.
before that they would go to the Board of Adjustments, that they might want to get a renovation cost before they
That was
went
a
to ask for
recommendation.
it. I mean, I think they do need to have an idea of the renovation cost before they even sign the budget to the Board of Adjustments.
Yes, ma'am.
That's why I'm curious how far along they were.
One of my questions is I was listening to that too, and then with building inspector in here too, I guess that would require oxygen.
The information we've
Oxygen
gathered
tanks.
from the state, it's like 3 pages of things that they're going to require. Fireproof, enclosed stairwells to electrical, plumbing. It's very intensive on what you have to do to bring these up to meet the state standards. And as Ms. Hopper said, the majority of these places were specifically built from scratch for them because they're such a intense thing. And from what I've been told, these people are looking to rent these houses, and they're going to put all this money into renovating this for a rent house. I can't see it working out for them. But I mean, that's on them and their cost, but it's not going to be as simple as going in there painting and doing stuff to do it. And as far as us telling them what they have to do, that's going to be hard because it's all based on, A, how many people, then are you going to have people that are ambulatory, or mentally retarded, what stage, because that all dictates on fire sprinklers or whatever you have to do is what kind of care, how many people, and everything they have to do. So they have to make a lot of decisions on what they want to do because that house is going to be renovated for that specific type of person and care.
This is the first I've heard that they're going to be rented property. So yeah, that definitely factors into the decision-making process.
Madam Chair, may I have something to say without breaching confidentiality?
Okay, yeah, we're kind of getting off the subject. Today is whether we want to waive fees or not. So let's, Ms. Holly, our question is about waiving fees tonight.
I just thought I would give a little information since we're talking about this potential family care home. Because during my tenure, we have not licensed one, and I did some research a few days ago, and it would be our department that the application would have to be submitted and sent to the division, and the zoning approval is part of that process.
Okay.
And
You don't, what about the home that you don't oversee that?
No, because that could be under, I want to say that is under mental health.
Okay, because they are mentally challenged.
Yes.
Individuals.
They didn't indicate a family care home when they came in, but I did,
That's what
those
it is.
exact words, okay, I
From
didn't.
2 to 6,
Yeah.
they can have from up to 2 to 6
Okay.
residents.
Madam Chairman, there's 5 different types in this group home, and that's what needs to be established. Whether it's a residential care home, whether it's a small residential care facility, whether it is a small ambulatory facility, that needs to be established first before we can go further on our side to assist with the state on the inspection and what's required for that home.
Okay, but once again, our core purpose here today is about fee waiver.
The thing about it is you can't get to where you are until the home is declared zoned for that type of business.
But,
That's what we're trying to get to.
yeah, and what I'm just saying, that they would have an idea of what the renovation costs, the people themselves, for if it's prohibitive in cost to rehabilitate a home, they don't need to have it go before the Board of Adjustments.
Well, they'll have to make that decision. But in order for them to know what they need to do, they have to know that they can get a special use permit.
No, we've been willing to go out there with them with state forms beforehand because of, and the original reason was to help them out. We're here to help. That's the whole thing. And I think they do have some questions.
Yeah.
What we get to, we've been in this situation somewhat in the past. And what they're trying to do is, they're trying to save their $500 times 2 up front. So they want to move forward without paying $1,000. Is that 500 and 500, am I saying that right? And the cost to the county is more than $500 in both cases. So that's what this is all about. Madam Chairman, I'd like to make a motion that we table this matter for today and pick it back up at our next meeting. I'll make that motion.
I'll second that motion, Madam Chairman.
Motion's been made, properly second, any discussion?
Just one point, that is, I think the table's not gonna vote on it today anyway, but just remember on this board that we don't waive fees, they don't go away. If the people that are doing this business and requesting this don't pay it, then every taxpayer in the county has to pay it. But fees do not go away. And the fees don't even come close to covering the cost. At a minimum, it's $731 for every one of these requests, and the fee is $500. And that is just the minimum. It will be more than that when you're finished. But just remember that to waive these fees doesn't do away with it. It just transfers the cost from the individual to the taxpayer.
Well, I think we're picking up some other tangible benefits as a result of bringing in this type of business. You know, to bring in extra tax revenues, to putting in employment. The benefits offset what we're doing, the cost of a special use permit. To bring in the service that we need in the county. And that's the reason we bring it for waiving, not necessarily just because of the regular process.
Okay, the motion in front of us is to table this until our November meeting. No further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, so it's tabled. Okay, now we get to the bond for the finance officer.
General statute requires that a finance officer be bonded. The minimum amount to be $50,000, and I would like to know what amount the county commissioners would like for our new finance officer to be bonded for. A previous finance officer was bonded for $200,000. the minimum can be 50,000. And currently, that is what our tax administrator is funded for, so I feel it needs to be more than what.
I think, because they're dealing, they got 8.2 million with just schools. I would think 50,000 is not enough.
Seems to me that, someone's already established, right before I was on the board, 200,000 was a good number. And I'm in favor of that.
And that was just based on the information that I could find, which I could not find anything before the 200,000. And we did not find it in the, I didn't find anything in the minutes.
Madam, what does it mean to be bonded?
You get insurance.
Right, is it basically
It's
it's
an
an
insurance
insurance
policy.
policy?
Because if there's any fraud or anything,
And it's covered.
it's covered.
Well, up to whatever amount. For example, the sheriff is bonded and the tax administrator is bonded as well.
So if our employee were to mishandle X number of dollars, then the bond insurance would come in and pay that. So we want to put our finance officer under 200,000. How much is the sheriff's office?
I can't remember right now do you remember what yours is right now?
I thought it was 200.
I can't remember what his is right now.
I will say, I was bonded when I was treasurer of the North Carolina Council of Social Studies, and that was just, for teachers conference that we held and did things for teachers, and I haven't had $100,000 bond.
No, his is not 200,000. She's looking. It's $7,500 for the sheriff right now.
7,500.
But it doesn't cost you that much. It's, insurance policy is relatively inexpensive. And it's to cover, it's generally in increments, like 50, 100, 250, 2,000, this goes on up.
What would it cost? 200,000.
I don't know, we've not received the quotes because we brought it before you. I know in the past, I believe the last one we paid for 200,000, if I remember correctly, was $700, but that was 3 years ago.
It's not a huge amount.
To double it just wouldn't double the cost. I know that would be the case. So you have
Yes, you're
a basic base amount. And just another thing too, this is not errors and omissions coverage. This is for pretty much illegal acts.
Correct.
And I hope we would vet our people to the extent that we would not have that liability in a great extent. So,
But of course, we read the newspapers and we see where individuals are, in fact, being prosecuted in the state of North Carolina. I've got what city it was, or county it was, someone who had been in office for a long time. So, it's just a protection for the county.
So your question for us again?
Is how much would you like for Ms. Outland to be bonded?
100,000.
Are you making that into a motion?
I'll make a motion that we bond our new finance officer at 100,000.
I'll second that motion, Madam Chairman.
Okay, a motion's been made and seconded. I'd like to make a comment. Could we investigate the cost of it? I mean, we can ask for a bond, but look at what is the difference in the cost from 100,000 to 200,000?
That she can't sign any checks or do anything until next month. I'm still on the signature, I'm still signing everything anyway, but
Okay.
just to make you aware.
Madam Chairman, why don't we do this? Let's implement that 50 and next month.
50 is, you can't, from what I understand, you can't change it each month. Once it's there, it's in effect for a year.
In 2017, we paid $700 for a $200,000 bond.
Okay.
And How much you pay for what?
In October of 2017, a year ago, it was $700 for 200,000.
What do we pay for 50?
We haven't bonded, I don't have that invoice, I have this one.
Did you make the motion?
I made a motion for 100.
Commissioners, just discussion. If we paid 700 in 2017, I don't want to look across the table here if something were to happen and say we went backwards on that dollar amount, on what we paid, but more importantly, the dollar amount. And of course, here again, we're doing this to protect the citizens. And so you always assume that you're not going to have any claims, but we're here to protect the citizens, protect the budget. I would be in favor of the same amount that we did last year, is my discussion point.
It was $175 was for 50,000, I believe.
Concerning how much money goes through the finance officers, through the office, I think the 200,000 is a better number.
I think you have to look at the risk.
Which you can't determine, really.
Well, we would have spent $700 for a bond insurance. We're in a county that we've never had to use it.
And we're glad we didn't have it.
And it's right. But, somewhere else could do it $700. No, I'm not gonna, we're not gonna waive that. The risk, we have to look at that. If the risk is great, 200,000 is fine. If it's not 50 or 100,000, that's what we'll look at.
Okay, we have a motion before us. Any further discussion? The motion before us is to do it for the amount of $100,000. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? No. Oh, aye. Okay.
Madam Chairman, I make a motion that we continue at the same level that we did in 2017, which is 200,000. 200,000. We need to state the cost because it could change.
Okay, do I have a second?
Second that motion.
Motion's been made and seconded. Any further discussion? Hear none. All those in favor of the 200,000 say aye. Aye. All opposed?
Nay.
Okay. It passes 4-1. And you will take care of getting the funded, so she can sign the check. Okay, anything else to be brought before us? Hearing none? Yes. I'm going to comment today since, what?
No, you didn't ask for
Citizens comments.
That's what I was.
Citizens comment. Okay, Milton Carter. I didn't need to shortchange you.
That's all right. Well, first I come up here.
State your name and address.
Yes, ma'am. Milton Carter, 1503 NC 32 South, Hobbinsville. First thing I'd like to congratulate y'all on the new school, getting started on that project. Citizens really appreciate that. However, it's a little bad timing with the demolition of the building. We have children in the school while the demolition is being done. I've talked to Dr. Williams about that also. You have excavators out there that are sifting through the rubble, children playing in the field, volleyball, soccer, or whatever. And also, this dust is going into the air conditioning systems of the building. One of my suggestions was to close do something with the school because of the mold and such. So we're actually really contaminating our children a little worse by taking this stuff and just throwing it up in the air. And that was one of the things. And I wasn't expecting to come in here and hear about the Sunbury School update either, but I'm glad I showed up today. From what I understand, the property there has been subdivided into different parcels. And also, I heard y'all say there was no work permits for any work to be done on it, and I know for a fact that some work has been done under the cover of darkness. So I just wanted to make y'all aware of that. And that's about it. If y'all can help me out with the school over there, so our kids don't have to read that stuff, that would be cool too. All right. That's
Thank
about
you,
it.
Mr. Carter, for bringing that to our attention. I know the demolition is just about completed, isn't it?
Demolition is complete. Mr. Carr spoke with Mr. Wynn yesterday, and he was instructed that North Carolina Environmental Quality and Health, or whatever the name of their department is the one who monitors air quality.
Air quality.
He needed to direct their question to that. Mr. Wynn went by. He said there's nothing that the county can do for that situation. It's being monitored by the construction company, and it's their responsibility to make sure everything is wet down. And I do know that the PE classes are not going outside this week, but my daughter informed me of that yesterday. And they're expected to be completed according to the timeline that I saw when I received an invoice for construction. They hope to have everything cleaned up by the time school reopens on Monday.
Okay, so it's being monitored on the air quality, and it seems like on Monday, everything will, they'll keep the kids inside this week.
Mr. Carter, you did the right thing by going to the superintendent first. So I appreciate you taking the proper approach.
Thank you.
And
I
I
just
have
care about
asked,
the kids.
yes, and you said that they were doing things at Sunbury School under the cover of darkness.
Yeah, well, pulling a small covered trailer to the side of the building and bringing bags of black trash bags outside and putting them into this trailer. Now, I didn't see where the trailer went, but I'm assuming it went into our public dumpsters. And I don't know the content of the black garbage bags, but there was a lot of them. So
Was
I
this recent?
No, ma'am, it's been 6 or 8 months ago. But,
Well, I think there was a lot of stuff left in the building after something.
I mean, it could be they were abating asbestos, could be they were scraping up floor tiles, could be cleaning up plaster off the walls, I have no idea.
I know at one time there was some things stored there, but they might have been cleaning that out.
Well, yeah, they did that a couple of years ago. They hired one of my friends down the street to get rid of a bunch of desks, books, and everything before Bud come in there to inspect the last time. But since then, they've been taking stuff out unusually. I mean, right in the afternoon, pulling a trailer up to that place and putting black garbage bags into the trailer right at dusk. So,
When recycling centers are closed at 7 in the summer months.
yes, ma'am, they should be left in the trailer till the next day.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you for listening to me.
Thank you.
Anyone else? No one else has signed up. We'll go on to the commissioner's comments. I am going to claim, I have the most people here today, I believe. I had 4 or 5 people here from Oxford. So I am flying high today. Thank you, Mr. Carter.
Yes, ma'am.
But it's nice to see everyone, because we represent everyone in the county, and we try to think about that as we make our decisions. Hopefully we're making progress, moving on forward with the schools, moving forward with the historic courthouse. So hopefully better days are to come. I encourage you to participate in your community events. A lot of those Mill Pond Days are coming up at the October 27th. I think that'll be a wonderful time to go out and be at the Mill Pond, and I think there is a run as well as exhibits are going to be out there. So take part in that. And we will be back in business the first Wednesday in November, and return to see us then.
I'd like to thank everyone for coming today, and thank my colleagues here today for their input on each matter, and look forward to seeing this group again in November.
I too thank everyone for coming. I encourage you to continue to help us to make Gates County one of the best counties in North Carolina to live in. That's by making the best decisions that we can make for our citizens and to keep the best employees that we can. You all have a good day.
Linda, how many did you say you had?
Now, we're not counting the people who work for the county.
Cannot count staff?
No.
All right, well, I just got 3 then.
I'm number 2.
Just I appreciate everybody coming and taking forward and being courteous and listening and adding your comments and opinions also. Thank you.
I too will certainly thank you for your comments, but I mention it every meeting that I think of it, and that is that certainly appreciate the calls, because the knowledge that we get comes from you, and the decisions we make is based on that knowledge. So we certainly appreciate that, and make no mistake, that's where it comes from. So it does come from you. So thank you.
I think all of us keep a pad of paper by our phones, or we're in the grocery store, well, not the grocery store, in Dollar General or Family Dollar. We can be approached. And we are a very approachable group, and all of us care about the county. And we work together.
Amen.
And so that is which I wish all the groups would work together, not naming any. Okay, at this time, there is no closed session today.
Yes, there is.
Oh, there he is.
It's at the bottom of the agenda.
Oh, I was trying to get out of here. Okay, at this time, we'll take it's in our closed session, and then we'll take a stretch break. And so at this time, do I have a motion to enter into closed session?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye. Aye. We'll take a 2 or 3 minute break, and we'll get started with closed session.
I think we can.
Okay, we're ready to come out of closed session.
I'll make a motion to come out of closed session.
Second.
Okay, a motion's been made and properly second. All those in favor coming out of closed session say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, well, out of closed session. At this time, the clerk of Superior Court, Mrs. Wiggins, will give the oath to our finance officer.
No, to the tax
To act administrator, I say finance.
I, Catherine Lane,
I, Catherine Lane,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support and maintain
that I will support and maintain
the Constitution and laws of the United States
the Constitution and laws of the United States
and the Constitution and laws of North Carolina,
and the Constitution and laws of North Carolina,
not inconsistent therewith,
not inconsistent therewith,
and that I will faithfully discharge
and that I will faithfully discharge
the duties of my office
the duties of my office
as tax administrator,
as tax administrator,
tax collector,
tax collector,
and tax assessor,
tax assessor,
and that I will not allow
and that I will not allow
my actions as tax administrator,
my actions as tax administrator,
tax collector,
tax collector,
and tax assessor
tax assessor
to be influenced
to be influenced
by personal or political friendships
by personal or political friendships
or obligations.
or obligations.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Okay, congratulations. You're sworn in again.
Thank you.
Okay, do I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
The Motion's been made, properly second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay, so you guys dangerous road.